We had a room full yesterday, it was nice. About 25. Between the coaches and the players, we had about 25. Everyone, guest and wanted to hear. So we found pizza yesterday. They were excited about that.
Yeah. Any questions?
I have a question. Is there an extra pen there?
Oh, yeah. Bring a pen in. I stole one from the guest drawer. Hey. Hi, visual aid.
I think.
Hey, folks. Managers.
Something good things.
Awesome. That's great.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. Try it. Try to do education and outreach and happy to put you in those.
How many are in your class now? 4, 5,
7.
7?
We had 5 last year. Well, nothing next year, I think.
Really?
Yeah, so just keep growing.
It's just the second year for the
Drone. The drone, they did some pilot flights and stuff.
We just have the pilot program right now. We'll eventually want to do drones and maintenance out there, but just get a fleet, which haven't really been.
Yeah, it's a team vocational then. Go, right. They meet every morning for 3 hours? 2 hours?
2.5.
2.5 hours.
And we have just to go into the programs, fly.
Nevin?
Nevin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's my intern now. He does work-based learning at the airport.
Yeah, nice.
And he's almost done with the certificate too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mom's.
Oh, well, good. Good. It's great having him out there.
Good deal.
All right, it's 12:30. Call this meeting to order of the Rensselaer Plat Committee on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. Crystal, can you do roll call, please?
Yes. President Scott Barton,
Here.
City Attorney Todd Sammons,
Here.
PC Josh Davis,
Here.
PC Secretary Crystal Bassett, here.
All right, thank you. We have the minutes of our last meeting in front of us. Review them and ask for a motion to approve. I'll second that.
These were the minutes where you were.
When you were in mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna abstain.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion approved. All right, we'll get into today's business. We have the Fleming Plat amendment. Josh?
Yeah, so this came up, last spring, actually, when this came in with Attorney Tonner, discussed for the planning commission on how to amend the parcel they own out here on Buncombe Road, just west of I-65. And we kind of talked them through, there was must have just been some miscommunication from the meeting. They went and did what we kind of requested with the auditor's office, but we just never got a survey or got it come back to the plan commission to get approved. And what came up is they're looking to add a garage to the parcel B on the plat here that they live on, Jeff and Tina here that are here today. And there's a minor boundary line adjustment on it, on this survey. And so because of that line being adjusted without the planning commission's approval, I said they need to come to the committee and get this survey approved so we can move forward, so.
All right, so with that survey, there's no issues with our.
No, I mean, there's as we discussed in the meeting, they didn't create any new unbuildable lots or anything like that. There are some unbuildable lots, but they're existing and they're not. So that's not going to cause any problems down the line with the zoning code. They have since you redeeded everything into the trust name for all the parcels in there, so they're all technically could be considered one lot according to our zoning code as well. So.
And the adjustment of this line doesn't create any frontage.
No, it was actually in the back portion of it, and it's just a north-south line that was a little bit off. Yeah. Okay. There's I don't know if you can see on the screen here, Todd. I'll zoom in here. Parcel B here. It's just this little corner right here.
Okay, I got you. I was looking through on.
Yeah. Okay. It was just I think if you read the notes there, it was just a discrepancy between section line and where the stake was pinned for that northwest or northeast property corner for Jacob Miller there. So.
All right. So we're looking for approval of the survey.
Yeah, to approve the plat amendment here for parcels AB. Well, actually, all of them here. The parcels D and E, or sorry, D and F were combined when it went through the county. I'm pulling up here. This is how it's already went through the auditor's office, and they've already recombined it. How the planning commission had requested. So this is all one parcel instead of having a separate little triangle across the ditch there. So this is just to finalize it all, so we can move forward with building permits along the frontage there for any of those lots along Bunker Road.
Discussions on this.
And this is fairly new, and I know Josh, you and I discussed this whole plat committee thing quite a while ago, but is this the end of it then, or is there an appeal period? Does this have to go before the planning commission at all?
No, since we're not creating any new parcels or anything, that we put in the ordinance there that for the amendment code that the plat committee can do amendments on their own, not have to go back to the full planning commission. So
Straight line.
yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
I'd move we approve it then.
Okay. I'd second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, unanimous. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I knew this would be simple. All right, any other discussions? On that one.
No, so we will certify this, and then, like I said, I believe you have 3 months to go get it recorded and make sure it's all finalized at the recorder's office. So we'll give you a certified copy today, and we can take it over there. So, all right.
And then good luck with the county. All right, second item on our business is the Jasper County Airport Authority and Ceres Farm.
I'll kind of let them present their here. They brought some stuff, and
Sure.
Pull up anything on the screen they need to. So.
Thank you. I'm Attorney Richard Comingore. I represent the Jasper County Airport and have for several years. With me today Emily. It's Emily Hackler, who's that way. Is the manager at the airport. Jasper County Airport was started about 1941. At least that's what Google says. It was the first operation. And it was part of the county as operated by the Jasper County Airport Commission until about 2012, which point it became a Jasper County Airport Authority and ruled as such. In the process, working with the FAA over the years, and we're going to use this as an example, it's required to have an airport layout plan where we hope to see the airport in X number of years. in future development, and this is filed with the FAA and approved by the FAA, and this is a yearly event. They do not make a new map particularly, but every 5 or 7 years or 10 years or so. But one of these airport layout plans had, at that time in 1956, had a plan of having an east-west runway. We currently have a north-south runway, which was a grass strip for years and became paved. It was a 3,000-foot strip north-south runway, which we can see from 114. It became paved. It's 3,000 foot, somewhere around 2000, year 2000 or 2001. It was extended to 4,000 feet because, frankly, corporate jets were reluctant to land on a 3,000-foot runway, more for insurance issues than anything else. Since then, though, it's now currently a 4,000-foot runway. However, there is still also a grass strip, which you can see here. Emily, where is that at? Can you put this up?
Right here.
It's about a 1,450-foot grass strip that's been there since 1941. And is used by various airplanes, and I've flown in and out of that and used that grass strip multiple times. And but in 1956, there was initially a plan to put an east-west runway extending this direction. Until we became an airport authority, that plan never really went very far because it was a county-operated facility. We never wanted federal money. For various reasons, we did not have the opportunity to expand. Since we became an airport authority, which opened up the opportunity to get some federal monies involved with us and so forth, we have been able to expand. And we've been able to expand in anticipation, working towards an east-west runway, which is on our airport layout plan. It does not show here, but at least this illustrates that it's going to be a little theoretically south of the current grass strip, but be a 5,000-foot runway. Over the years, as we explained, the corporate aircraft were happy to land on a 3,000-foot runway until insurance companies said, we really want you to have a 4,000-foot runway to land on before we're going to cover you. So actually the north-south strip is actually 4,006 inches, 4,000 feet and 6 inches long because of those issues. Now the corporate structures are pushing for a 5,000 foot. This is why we've chosen to work towards a 5,000-foot runway, 5,006 inches, more than likely. But obviously this has been in the works, and east-west runway has been in the works for decades. Since we became an airport authority, we were able to acquire in 2015, I believe the deed work will show you that Ceres acquired a parcel of runway, a parcel west of the airport in some transaction. And in 2016, the airport was able to acquire what we refer to as the Eldridge property, which is an 80-acre section west of the airport, which also has some frontage road. And in 2020, we were able to acquire, the airport was able to acquire another section, which we refer to as the Begley section, when Elmer passed away through estate work and such like that. And as you can see, this is a great example where the Ceres Farms is where we're at. Now, the airport is to the right of the picture that's on the screen now. But we do own the 4602, and we own the 4700 and the 4600, that square. Ceres owns the 4500 Ceres there. And we've been negotiating with Ceres for quite a while, and doing some boundary changing, some swapping of land, because we would really like to have the northern part of the Ceres property, and they would like to have the southern part of the Ceres property. And we've come to an agreement. The airport has had the appraisals done for the property, pursuant to the FAA requirements, which is, I think the cost was about $6,000 just for the appraisals of the property. We have had it surveyed, and this is what you see here. This is the first time I've seen it. It's a big sheet here that shows the proposed parcel 1, parcel 2, parcel 3, and parcel 4. As you see on the screen. Thank you, Josh. Because this allows us to, we're trading 46 acres for 46 acres. It's an even Steven trade. It's all within the property boundaries that are present. We're asking to change those property boundaries into parcel numbers so that we can effect this exchange. There will be no money traded. Interchange is just a trade of property because we really want to be able to have that property on the north side, the proposed property, which allows us to potentially go an east-west runway. We still don't have enough, but we're getting there. And it's been a process. This may never happen in my lifetime, but at some point we're working in that direction. And this is what brings us here today, is to request this readjustment of boundaries. So will permit us to continue our work towards gaining property. Emily, I didn't mean to really overstep your bounds. So, but do you have any other questions or concerns?
About how many more feet do you need to acquire?
That's a great question. I cannot answer that question. I think the next parcel to the west is, perhaps Josh can come up with that. It's all, we need to get almost to the gravel, the road. 8, yeah, 8, right, whatever that road is. And I believe that's currently, it's not with a company like Ceres. But we're just taking one step at a time. We've been very fortunate to be able to, but by becoming an airport authority in 2012, that opened up financing issues for us that also permitted federal money. Federal money will pick up about 95% of the total cost. And this is how we've been able to gain this other property, the Fagley property and the Eldridge property over a period of time by judiciously seeking that property out, knowing that our intention was to go west. At one time, there was some discussion within the FAA even of making the proposed 5,000 foot runway that would cross over the intersection, the existing north-south runway, in order to require less acquisition of property. But that's been probably correctly nixed because the FAA and safety concerns don't want intersecting runways. So there's no intention of closing off any roads or anything of this nature, but we're pushing towards that east-west runway, and this will allow us to facilitate that process.
And I don't have any problem with it. You're just doing a direct exchange.
Yep, right.
A couple questions though, just for clarification or for my information. Is that what the depth of the lots are going to need to be, Rick, the way that those boundaries are drawn? I mean, it seems like a lot of property north and south. I'm just curious.
Along here, this way?
Yeah, you'd be acquiring the north portion of the Ceres property. They'd be acquiring the southern portion of the airport property.
Correct.
Is that the actual depth that's needed? And I'm just curious.
Correct.
To actually put a runway in.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it is. It is.
And
correct. Right.
Secondly, I understand that I haven't done any research. It's really never been material to me, but when the airport acquires that property, it does somewhat change, or I should ask you, does it restrict what the surrounding landowners can do as far as height restrictions and things?
There can be.
To some extent.
There can be to some extent because what's the term? They're protecting the airspace.
Yeah.
Airspace. In fact, this is what part of this strange little bit of here is for airspace protection.
Okay.
So there are some issues, and once the airport acquires the property, then, for example, if a grain elevator needed to go up someplace out in this area, they would need to go to the FAA to get approval so that that grain elevator wouldn't be above the flight path.
They already are required to do that, right?
Yeah, right. They're already.
This is published.
Yeah.
It's already, they're already required to go to the FAA since there's within so many feet.
Yeah.
If it's so high.
And Emily would know better on how that works than I do, probably.
And when you do extend that runway out, it just pushes that boundary farther to the west then, doesn't it?
This, well, yes, if
For the
we
heights.
unintersected it, oh, yes,
For the heights.
right, because it's a slope kind of
Yes.
outward and upward.
Right.
And something that might be built very close it may perhaps something we're going to be building right here, perhaps they could only have a 4-foot height. But if it's going to be out here further, maybe a 300-foot height. Because it's all dependent upon the glide slope that's measured when they bring their King Air in and measured. They have these very strict requirements of protect the airspace coming in there.
Yeah, that was a big, I mean,
Yeah.
both of you answered my question.
A lot of that airspace protection is also dependent upon the type of instrument landing system that's been approved for a given, or an instrument landing approach that's been approved for a given air runway. Because there has to be certain requirements, safety requirements on the aircraft as they approach.
That one's, yes, that one's set up as a precision approach, so it's stricter and it could change. That part could change. So those boundaries could become, I guess, a little bit higher. You could build a little bit higher. But right now we have it as a precision approach.
A few years ago, on the north-south strip, who owns this out there? Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
We had to go in and ask the FAA came in with the King Air and said these trees are too high. So we had to go to the fairgrounds and ask them to cut a couple trees down because they'd grown up and were infringing in that airspace. Just as an example, I don't know if you were here when that occurred or not. That was an interesting little discussion.
And I know that was taken into consideration when the county passed the, basically their wind farm.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
call
It was, right,
right. And protected.
To protect that airspace, exactly. Yeah.
Construction. I guess my question for Josh, because you're the one that knows all the technical stuff about this, if this is approved at this level, and it would tend to put additional restrictions on, neighboring landowners, that where they may not be restricted at this point based on the current ownership of the property. Is this something that's going to be subject to an appeal process after this level?
Well, we already have an airport overlay, which consider a whole bunch of this.
And then, so that takes all this in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The only thing I think left we need to do is, with this is, get,
Right,
the right signature from Ceres when the deal's done before we sign off and approve. Yeah.
correct. There was, we had one application, right? Josh asked us to do a dual application with both of us, Ceres and the airport. And Emily signed off on behalf of the airport on the second page of that, and we do not yet have the Ceres.
We do.
Oh,
Got
we
it.
do.
I actually have it. If you
Okay.
need it, and we got it like maybe an hour ago.
Oh, great.
Right on time.
Great. Because, and that was really good to have Ceres because they need to be paper-wise, they need to they're part of this,
Right.
and we need that paper trail.
And the quick claim deeds of the property is dependent on passing of.
Well, correct, right, nothing, none of this has been recorded yet.
Right.
Because it's proposed, and that's the next step.
Yeah.
We'll say a few prayers and go forward, so.
I don't think it's Mary has something to, but sorry, this is not news to a lot of landowners out there, the east-west.
Oh, no, this is what there's one thing the airport's really been trying to do for a good decade is be very, very transparent. Very cautious in how we're trying to expand and trying to be very transparent.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, Kent Corniak, which would be the one most effective, came in to ask about doing a grain leg there and went through the process, and we haven't heard anything back from them, so they're well aware.
I know they're.
I just wondered how much of the property is in the city limits itself. I know it's
All of it.
okay. I saw your red line. I thought, okay.
I guess not all of the north-south.
No,
right in there,
but the east-west.
The east-west.
The east-west would be in the city, right? Yeah.
And.
There's no more expansion on the north-south.
Right.
In our lifetime.
Yeah.
Maybe not east-west either.
Yeah. Getting closer and closer to interstate.
Well, yeah, right, yeah, but.
9,000 feet.
Yeah.
And Jasper County, we're located in an interesting position. Because where in the 1940s, the Jasper County Airport we had a beacon, and you've probably seen it in the past that was up there. And that was a navigation beacon from Indianapolis to Chicago, because Jasper County runs on an interesting distance from Chicago, an interesting distance from Indianapolis, and just as Interstate 65 is, but of course, technology has overcome all those needs for beacons and so forth. But we believe that the airport provides a economic incentive to our community.
Some of us got to see the beacon every night.
Yeah. Yes, you're a lucky man. You're very lucky. So we would ask the board to approve this amendment.
Any other comments, questions from anybody here?
Now, since I have the notarized letter from Ceres, I have any conditions or anything we're good to approve, so.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lady, yes.
Thank you for all your work.
Of course, thank you guys. Thanks for your support.
Well, I said that thing, so.
That blew me away inside.
Do we have any other business to discuss while we're here, Josh?
I do not have any other business.
I really like your map, so.
You'll get to take that with you here in a little bit.
Oh.
Thank you. All right, we do have to sign before we leave them.
Yep.
for
Yeah.
claims.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Closed.